No.
You can't talk your problems away. You have to, like, you can sit here and tell me everything you don't like about me.
Right.
That nothing's going to change unless I change.
Right. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After I Do, a podcast about real marriage topics, conversations, and relationships.
And that thing.
I am your host, Nisha G, and I'm here with my husband of 8 years today,
Molito.
Happy anniversary, babe.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, okay. So now, so you want to wait till the camera starts rolling to try to like be all like downplaying your happy anniversary, baby.
Friend, where have you been?
Nobody knows me like you do. That's my boo. Yes, today is our 8-year wedding anniversary.
Well, we've been together 2 decades.
I feel like there should have been like a round of applause. You should have played like a round of applause.
Oh,
there.
I think I got you. Hold on. Hold on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. You didn't have to like go off on somebody.
Give you gunshots?
Yes.
Nobody knows me.
So happy 8-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary, babe. I mean, it's like, to me, it's going to sound weird saying this, but the wedding anniversary is not a big deal to me because we've been together 22 years.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's not a big deal, though.
I mean, it's just another notch in the belt. I mean, I count, you say 8, I say, we're going on 22. We got 22 years of struggle.
Yeah, but it has not been 22 years of struggle.
I mean, not every year hasn't been struggle, but we've only been on paper for 8, but we've been committed.
We've been
committed
like
for a long
socially committed for the past 8 years.
Because we've been common law since 04.
Oh my gosh, that's not true. And I don't even think common law exists anymore in California.
It don't
and when it did, to my understanding, it was like 10 years. So then that would have made us common law in
12.
In 12, yeah. 2012. If that was still a thing.
But you count them 10 years. It don't matter. I've been holding you down since 02.
Okay.
And you've been
since October 1st of 2002.
And you've been
story.
And you've been leaning against me.
Funny thing, really. And I think we've talked about this before. We had actually started dating a little bit before.
We're not doing that now.
We had started dating a little bit before.
We don't count middle school years.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the date, like the 10/01/02. It was like off by like a couple of dates, but I was just like, no, we're gonna stick to 10/1 because I wanted to keep this slate clean. But it was really
okay.
And you didn't remember anyway.
All right.
But it's actually plus 2 days.
So it's 10/03?
No.
Oh, it was in September.
Yes. So it's plus 2 days.
Yeah, we can't have no Virgo relationship. I'm acting like I didn't hear none of this.
We've talked about that before.
Whatever. 10/01/02.
Yeah, that's for the past 20 years. 10/01/02.
22 this year.
Yeah, the year and the month is perfect. The year is definitely like the year. So. But yeah, so how have you been feeling? Like, did you wake up like thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm 8 years in?
I woke up this morning just hoping my daughter had a better day.
Facts.
I just wake up every day and say, I hope she's not on some BS this morning. That is my morning every morning. I just hope Phoenix is not on some
You just don't know like what version
shit.
You're going to get sometimes. Like, you just like, you don't know. Like, but she did. So it's so funny because the other night you were like, excuse me. Kind of getting over a little something, guys. But the other night you were like, oh, you slept in your bed all night. And she was like, yep, I sure did, Dad. And I looked at both of you and I was like, really? So who was that came and woke me up on my bedside at 1 a.m.? Like, and then what she does is she comes in now and she comes in to drink my nighttime water.
Well, leave it. Give her some
And
nighttime
I
water.
do give her nighttime water, but she finishes it. So like she finishes it before she goes to bed.
She be dry.
So she gets up in the middle of the night, and then all I hear is my cup like rattling because it has like the ice in it.
Oh, so she didn't wake you up. She was just drinking water.
No, she woke me up. She drank the water, and then she always taps me like this because I always tell her not to wake you up. So she tries not to like make noise. So she just taps me until like I start slowly coming up out of my sleep. Like, and it's not like a tap where she's like she'll tap and be like, "Oh damn, okay, mom is like sleep. Let go ahead and go." She wakes me up for me to tell her to go get back in her bed. And then she goes, "I love you, mom." And I'm
Well, at
like,
least you
"You
got
woke
that.
me up for that." Like last night, I stayed up. You guys, she went to bed at 8:32 last night.
We was tired.
Right after that, you went to sleep. So of course, naturally, I was up till midnight. So I'm in the bed, and it's like 12:10 or something like that. And now I'm finna like actually start winding down. So I like plug in my iPad, plug in my cell phone. I'm turning off my nightstand light. Soon as I turn that light off, all I hear is little feet making their way to our bedroom. She walks in, she's scratching her head. And you know when she's like in that sleep where she's like sleep, but she's not sleep. Like she's kind of like in that dazed. So I could see it on her eyes, and I was like, she's low key like sleepwalking a little bit. But she comes in, she's scratching her head. She comes over to my nightstand like clockwork. She drinks my nighttime water, and then she already sees me, and then she goes, as she's scratching her head, and she's like, "Mom." And I was like, "What, Phoenix?" "I need to tell you something." I was like, "What, Phoenix?" I said, "Phoenix, go get back in the bed." I was like, "I love you." "I love you." And she just walks back on, gets back in the bed.
But she's making progress.
She has done like this past what is it? It's been like 3 weeks.
This is week 3.
Like 3 weeks. She has done phenomenal. Like when I tell you, she kicked you out the other night.
Right.
She asked for him to do reading, the bedtime
and I'm
reading.
never reading to her again.
That's why I told her. Hurt his feelings.
That's why I told her no last night.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you go in, and right now we're reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, I think it is, or whatever.
Yes.
So she reads to you, and then you go to read to her, and what does she say?
She says, I'm like 4 pages in by this now. And she's like, "Dad, Mom reads like 2 or 3 pages, 4 at most." I'm like, "Okay, well, you're not asleep. I'm on page 4 or 5 right now." So then I proceed to read like 2 more pages, and she's like, "That's enough. Good night, Dad." I said,
she was like, "You're dismissed."
"That's enough."
That's enough, Dad. You're doing too much.
So that's why last night when she was like, "Dad, can you read to me?" I said, "Absolutely not."
And you know how many pages I read?
2.
I read like two and a half pages, and when I looked up, she was cold out.
Every time I looked at her like she was asleep, she'd open her eyes and I kept reading. But at the same time, I just said, my voice is not as smoothing.
No, but you know what it is too? Okay, so like when you see her kind of like doing that dozy off thing, you can stop right then, because I used to read to her and only until she fell asleep, but then as soon as I stopped, like the silence would wake her up. But if she's in that in between state where she really can't even hold her eyes open, but she knows that you're still there, but like, and you want to keep reading till she actually goes to sleep, stop reading, turn the lights off, don't say anything unless she calls you back, and she'll eventually just be like, "I'm just gonna give up because I'm so tired I can't even keep my eyes open." So she just like eventually just, and then she's out.
Last night I gave up. I chose to protect me and my feelings, because my child hurts my feelings all.
I was just gonna say, you let her hurt your feelings so
she hurts my feelings
so bad all the time.
The time.
And I can understand it. Like when she says things like, "Oh, Daddy, I love you," and then she came over to me and said, "Mom, I love you more."
Mm-hmm. I said, "There go Disneyland."
Bye. She's obsessed with you.
It don't matter.
She's obsessed with you.
I can go out right now, buy her something, hand it to her, and she's like, "Oh, when did Mommy get this for me?"
Oh, well, that was kind of like yesterday when we got, she needed a new lunch pail and a new water bottle. So we stopped and we got her a lunch pail and water bottle. And as soon as we got in the car, she got in the car and she was like, Oh my gosh, Mom, it's so cute. Where did you get it? Thanks, Mom. You're the best. I was like, thanks.
You know what I got?
I wasn't going to pass up that.
You know what I got? Dad, you got something to eat?
She's like, you got something for me?
See?
I'm hungry. You got
no
something,
respect.
You got something for me? See, but she goes to you for nourishment.
She goes to me. She comes to me for things that cost money.
Bye. Whose fault is that?
Her mother's.
No, it's yours.
Because her mother comes to me for things that cost money.
That is absolutely your fault.
What we got today, babe?
How was your week, though, babe? That was about Phoenix. How was your week? You, individually.
Uneventful. I mean, just mentally fighting myself mentally every day.
What do you find yourself mentally about?
About not being a deadbeat.
Is the temptation to be a deadbeat that strong?
It's strong. It's strong.
Is it?
Because I was like, man, I can live out my car. I get at least 2 of my paychecks. I for sure eat good. I could shower at the gym. Like, if I just detach myself from all this burden.
If you just go get some milk, huh?
That's never come back.
Babe, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some milk.
That's a whole nother level. You can't serve me if you can't find me. Oh, damn.
Babe, you'll still be collecting a paycheck.
Will I?
Yeah, you will. You just said so. You just said, oh, I could live off 2 of my paychecks. Like,
yeah.
Do you really think they will let you keep collecting your paychecks?
I would.
Okay, you'll still collect them. They'll just be deducted.
Under my new name.
It's not how that works. It's not how that works.
I'm going to get rid of my slave name.
Okay, bye. Anyway, I do want to say that we did start the day off really good on our anniversary day. We got up. That's not what we did. My gosh, why are you're being weird. Anyway, got up this morning. It actually wasn't a bad morning with the little today. She didn't do terrible. She was really good today.
She didn't do great either.
No, but she didn't do terrible. And
we don't reward so apart around here.
We were able to get our workout in together. Anytime we're able to work out together, I mean, it's my favorite. I don't know how you feel about
workout.
Demel, please stop that. We went to the gym.
Yeah, we did. We worked out.
No, we went to the gym. Don't do that. We didn't. We went to the actual gym. We did an actual workout, like actual workout with gym equipment.
Okay.
I hate when you do that. You're trying to like insinuate something else.
What?
That's not what happened.
We have a child.
Okay, I'm just saying, but that's not what...
We are both...
Why are you this way?
We are both approaching...
Why are you this way?
40. They know what grown folks do.
Why are you this way?
What? If I wasn't, you wouldn't know who I was.
Anyways, we had a really great workout.
Did we? Did we though?
You're so annoying sometimes. This is what we're going to get into today, guys. So, you know.
Hold on. I take it your week was good?
My week was good.
That's good.
My week was good. I had, we hung out with friends. God, that was fun.
That's a lot of notes you got over there.
I just like to reference. We hung out with friends and, you know, did the usual with the schedule.
That's about the weekend, huh? I didn't want to say nothing about the weekend. I thought you would say something about the weekend, but it's cool.
Well, what? Let me finish. Like, we hung out with friends. We went through the usual with the little. We were able to have our anniversary dinner at one of our favorite restaurants.
Got that lobster bisque.
Uh-huh. Yes. If you guys are ever in the downtown Riverside area, go to the Mission Inn and visit Dwayne's Seafood and Steakhouse inside the Mission Inn in downtown Riverside.
Make sure your checkbook open.
So good. They have some of the best lobster bisque. It's so bomb. Oh, and the
crab cakes are fire too when they have them.
Yeah, when they have them. I don't even want to talk about it. But what did we try for the first time? The tenderloin tips.
You're gonna stop poking me with this pen.
Sorry, the tenderloin tips.
Yes.
Is that what it was? Yeah, the tenderloin tips were really good.
I mean, I ain't had nothing that was bad there personally.
Right. Same. I can attest to that. Same. But yeah, so we had a really, really nice anniversary dinner. Shout out to my mom for taking care of her grandchild.
A half shot.
Um, goodbye. And yeah, then we had like we spent time together the next day. We had a great brunch together. Just quality time. I feel like now as we are getting older, especially like in our marriage, how we view quality time together is a little bit more different. Like us getting time alone in any
It's
capacity
rare.
is rare, so I feel like it holds more weight and value, and it's something we really genuinely look
Let
forward
me let
to.
me let me tell y'all something, people. All I ever really want is just be alone with my wife,
Yeah, same.
without no distractions,
Yeah,
no kid, no problems. Like just me and my wife living our life.
yeah, same.
That's it.
That's same. But I just feel
Phones
like
off.
it doesn't even
Oh,
before
I just thought of a new saying.
what?
I'll start telling you phones off, clothes off. About to go put in work.
Why are you this way? Why are you this way? Which
Phones off, clothes off.
with your toes all in the camera.
That's fine. I'm at home.
But yeah, I just feel like I know before like we would always try to like plan and like make sure we go here and go there and spend a weekend here. And although that's really nice and we even tried to make plans to get away this past weekend, but timing was not good.
Somebody's schedule.
But even when we are able to have like a little well, quote unquote staycation with each other, if it's just us, it's just enough. Hey, I got a new saying.
What is it?
If it's just us, it's just enough.
In that thing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to put that on a shirt.
You know, we've been pretty lucky. This is the first year where Easter has fallen on our anniversary weekend.
Yeah.
And kind of ruined it.
Bye. Kind of ruined it.
It inflated all the prices everywhere.
Oh gosh. I can't.
Because we should have took a flight.
But yeah, like I'm just really happy that we have made it to year 8, and I'm really grateful to have made it to year 8.
Because year 7 was rough.
It didn't come without its ups and downs. It didn't come without some bruises on the knees, but like I'm really grateful that like we're here, like, and it went so fast. That's the thing about it. It like went super super duper fast. So kind of like in the honor of our 8-year marriage, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what is called the 7-year itch. Since we've gotten over the 7-year and we're now into the 8-year. Yeah, basically. So I know that you weren't all that familiar with what the 7-year itch was.
Because I don't be paying attention to these terms y'all women be making up.
But okay, well, just FYI, is something that started in the 1950s. It's not anything that's really new. It's like a real.
I bet it was made by a woman.
People. Anywho, it comes from the 7-year itch. It was initially popularized during the 1950s, right? And it comes from the concept of because couples were unable to live together prior to marriage, all of the things that relationships go through, the ups and downs, getting familiar with a person, getting to know a person's habits and everything would happen in the marriage. Like, because the first time you would technically be with your husband or be with your wife was once you guys were married, and that's when you would start living together. Unlike today, where people cohabitate together regardless if they're married or not, right? So you're able to kind of see a lot of those like habits and traits and things of each other. But during that time, that wasn't a thing. So what they were starting to realize is that all of the ups and downs that marriages would go through, by the time couples would get to like year 7, that was like the height of where the most issues were like coming to a head, like the boiling point of like marriage was like year 7. So some of the symptoms they said of the 7-year itch are a lack of physical and emotional intimacy.
Check.
Poor communication.
Check.
Increased conflicts like arguing and hurtful words and criticism of each spouse.
Check.
Keeping secrets from your spouse.
Double check.
Not spending or any meaningful time together.
Triple check.
And taking one another for granted and feeling unappreciated.
All the time.
Right. So really, shit, really, stop all the time. But like when you break it down to some of those like reasons, you can see why some people, especially over the course of 7 years, being in cohabitation with a person who you never lived with before, whom you only got to see all of the pretty shiny things about them, right? So you think about when you're dating and before you start living with someone, even whatever disagreements you have, they're still not what a disagreement looks like in a marriage, because especially if you both can go your separate ways, your lives are not intertwined in the same way or in the same capacity, as opposed to being married and being in the same household and like doing day to day with each other, right? um so I just thought it was really interesting because then it started making me reflect on our own marriage, and like how we had this conversation at dinner the other night when we were just kind of like reflecting on the times that we've had together and how our relationship started and how things were in the beginning,
The evolution.
and the right and the evolution of
It was
our
so much better
marriage.
in the beginning.
Of of course, endorphins are firing off. It's like everything is kind of heightened. It's new. I think the
Nobody's
newness
calling
and
you
the
mom.
excitement. The what?
Nobody's calling you mom.
Nobody's calling you mom. But the newness and the excitement is what kind of like hooks and baits you. And then once you get further and further and further and further along, like all the shiny, pretty things start to kind of dull down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start stripping yourself of.
Not stripping.
Why are you like this? You know what I mean.
Start stripping on the pole.
You no, not that type of stripping. But anyway, you start being stripped down in a way where your vulnerabilities come out.
Mm-hmm.
Like your shortcomings are a little bit more visible to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you got to get to a point where I feel like you start evaluating and reevaluating your own self and your own life to see like if this person is worth going through all of these changes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about like the symptoms of the 7 year itch and get like your perspective.
Well, I mean, when you were reading that list off, I was like, this all to me sounds like it just sounds like a lack of non-judgmental conversations.
What do you mean?
Like if you're able to have conversations and express yourself and your concerns without there being any judgment involved, or without there and with your partner actively listening to you, and not passively listening to you, I feel like a lot of those things wouldn't happen if you just have the hard conversations. Because a lot of times things go unsaid, and that's when you allow things to fester, and that's when things like that get to the issue to where you don't get over the 7 year hump. I just feel like all that, when you list that whole list off with the 7 year itch, what that entails, it just seems like lack of communication was the key to that.
Okay, so for instance, when we talk about a lack of physical or emotional intimacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get through, like, let's say, for instance, you're being vulnerable, you're being honest, you're having the hard conversation, and you have expressed what your needs are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you just said that it sounds like there's just like a lack of conversation. What if the conversation has been had, but no change has been happening?
Well, again, I say the conversation is just a start.
Okay,
There has to be actions after the conversation.
right,
There has to be effort.
right.
You
I
can't you
know,
can't talk your problems away. You have to, like, you can sit here and tell me everything you don't like about me.
right,
That nothing's going to change unless I change.
right. And I know for us when, you know,
Don't say for us, say for you. Don't speak for me, please.
well, I'm talking about us as a couple, and I'm in within it, so I'm just gonna say us. When we have gone through and experienced lack of like emotional or physical intimacy, we've had those conversations, right? He's had conversations with me about where he feels like there's a lack of physical, or I've had a conversation with him about the lack of emotional. And mine was like the spending time, us having better conversations, not just, on the fly conversations, but like real deep thought conversations. Because that was one of the things that attracted me to you in the first place, was the type of conversations that we could have.
And I always felt like you didn't give me grace because it's like after 20 years, how many more deep conversations can we have?
I feel like there
When you know so much about me,
no, because
let's deep dive into why I chose this color underwear.
because you are still growing as a human being, and you are still like changing and coming into and living up to the type of man that you want to be. And
Right.
those changes is what I'm interested in knowing, the behind the scenes of those changes. I'm interested in knowing about your thought process on the new journeys that you're taking for yourself in life. I'm interested to know
Okay.
about
I'm gonna tell you.
I know you do tell me.
I'm gonna tell you.
you
I
know
don't tell you everything.
you know what I mean? But I think it's important to have those conversations, like you said, the hard conversations, because that's how we move forward, and that's how we're able to take care of the relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Because you want to get the best out of your marriage, just like you want to bring the best into your marriage.
I want the best out that thing.
I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Why are you like this?" But yeah, so I mean, you want to be able to bring your best self into your marriage, and you want to be able to get the best out of your marriage, right? And that comes with having the tough conversations. That comes with not trying to be better just for yourself, but also for your partner, right? And trying to focus on your partner and not just yourself. And that was a conversation that we had before too, about if you focused on, like, if you took a portion of what your partner was feels like they were missing from the relationship, and you focused on trying to please your partner, and your partner focused on trying to please you, there's not usually a lot of room left for there to be this feeling of like, I don't feel like I'm getting what I need.
Yeah.
Right? But on the same token, I feel like it's the consistency too.
Let me say this to this point. I know as men, it's very hard to continue to do something when you feel like it's not being reciprocated. And I used to always ponder this, like, because I've tried everything. I've tried, okay, well, I'm just not going to do it. But when I would stop doing the things that I would do that I would want her to reciprocate, it didn't make her do the things. It's just neither one of us was doing it. Right. And then if I go have the conversation, I can't say, well, no, because I stopped doing it. I can't say, well, I need you to do this the way I do this for you, because now I've stopped. So it took me years to understand that all I can control, like really understand this, it's a very simple concept. All I can control is what I do, right? And if I put my best foot forward in all that I do, then I can mention to her where I feel she's lacking or where I feel like she needs to meet me at. And now I have the work that I've put in and the efforts that I place every day as backup to my words. Because now what I'm saying is not some hypothetical thing that I used to do or that I would do if she would do this. What I'm saying is that now I'm saying, I do this for you. I do X, Y, and Z. I need you to do A, B, and C so that I can feel appreciated doing X, Y, and Z. And I think as a man, it took me a while to understand that, because we used to go through these patches where I would just stop doing certain things. Like, well, I mean, I'm not getting what I want. Why would she get what she want? That was literally my mentality. And so I had to literally learn to have these hard conversations. And then a lot of times I noticed that, like, okay, when I brought it to her attention, things would change, because she'd be like, okay, yeah, well, he's right, because he is doing X, Y, and Z. It wouldn't hurt for me to do A, B, and C. And I think that's something that a lot of men don't really think about, because I know as a man, it's kind of like, well, if I'm not going to benefit from it, I'm just going to stop. But I don't think you can take that approach when it comes to your marriage.
Yeah. I want to touch on.
Also, like I was saying, no, just playing.
I want to touch on
Oh,
about
touch. All right,
stop it.
Maria. All right, Maria.
Stop it. I want to touch on
Touch
something you were talking about too, about like how you were doing the things and
the
you
things.
felt like I wouldn't be doing the things, or you thought that would make me want to do the things. One of the things that we have talked about and continue to talk about is loving each other how each other perceives love, right? What I had
That's
noticed what
that's
he was doing,
that's another concept.
yes, I what I had noticed what he was doing, and especially when he brought it, like when he brought his concerns to my attention, is he was trying to love me the way he perceived love. And for me, it's like, but that that's like, that's not a thing for me. You know what I'm saying? That's how you view love. So you were doing all of the things that you wanted done for you or to you, in the expectation that that would encourage me to do those things, right?
Right. A lot of times it's not. It's
But
not.
they
It's
didn't
not.
those things didn't translate
They
to
don't.
me
They didn't
the
line
way
up.
that they would translate to
They
you.
didn't line up.
They didn't line up because that wasn't my perception of love.
Right.
That's not how I feel love. So every time you did certain things, it was like, oh, okay, that
That's
was nice.
nice.
Just yeah, that's quite literally how it was. Then his feelings would get hurt because he didn't get the reaction out of me that he was expecting to get. And it's like, because this is something that would put a smile on your face if I were doing these things.
Right.
So when he started bringing his concerns to me, that's when it, like, a light bulb clicked in my head, and I'm like, okay, you're trying to love me the way you perceive love. And the reason why, like, it was just like a light bulb moment is because the same like conversations and self-talk that you're having with yourself about how you feel like you're not getting this, that, and the third from the relationship, guess what I'm over here doing?
The same
The
thing.
exact same thing. It doing the exact same thing, because
Stop asking questions you got the answer to.
we were both doing the same thing.
Right.
But I think where the growth comes in at is, for one, we were able to have the conversation.
Right.
For two, we're continuing to have those conversations,
Right.
because it's not something that we've just talked about and it's like, okay, I'm gonna fix that. You don't like this when you get home, I'm not gonna do that, and then
Right.
we move on, because the more we grow, our needs continue to
Right.
change. The things that we hold valuable continue to change.
Right.
So we have to keep having those conversations.
Right.
What made me happy 5 years ago doesn't make me happy.
What made you happy 5 minutes
Like,
ago?
you know me. Just like things that made me happy
Right.
5 years ago are not the same things
It's
that
like
probably make me happy today.
it's like Monday. I woke up Monday. I said I'm going to be helpful to my wife today. This is my whole goal Monday. I said I'm on vacation. My goal today is to be helpful. So
And you know what I like?
so I'm going to do things for her and with her that she would normally do by herself. So I ran errands with her. God knows I hate running errands. I went to the grocery store. I put groceries up. I cooked all the meals that day. I prepared our child's lunch. I made breakfast for everybody, well, except for myself. I just did the things that she would normally have to do had I be going to work. I just said, okay, today she's going to be a day to where, Lord, I washed so many dishes. I said, Lord, I said, how many dishes they going to use? By dinner time, I said, this is why she feel this way. Because
why she feel this way.
After I cooked dinner, I said, y'all, these dishes on y'all.
He was like, he goes, do you mind taking care of the kitchen? I said, I absolutely do not. Because what you're not going to do is be helpful the whole day. And then when it starts to get tough, you're going to be like, oh, can I tap you in? No, that defeats the purpose of you being helpful today.
And I told her.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not. I said, no, I'm not.
And I told her, I said, well, these dishes are going to be here for you in the morning because I'm tired.
You were tired after the first grocery store.
I was. We went to pick our daughter up, and I fell asleep in the parking lot. She woke me up.
And I took a video of him when he was putting the groceries in the back, and I was like, when your husband is on vacation, so you don't have to do any of these things.
I said,
you liked it?
I hated it.
You got up in that morning, you went and worked out, went and ran errands, did the grocery shopping, got the kid from school, had to go over the kid's stuff from school.
I took a shower last night, and I laid in bed, and I said, I would just rather go to work.
That's what you always say. I would just rather go to work.
I would rather just go to work.
And I said, and mind you, sitting here saying all of this with an actual pile of laundry that's actually to my left that I still need to fold.
It'll get done when it gets done.
See, that's what he's now. Now you see how I feel sometimes. Now you see how I feel sometimes, and I'm just like, at some points, I'm just like, you know what? It's gonna be there tomorrow.
But all this. Oh, sorry, go back to the topic. All this comes from conversations we previously had.
Yeah,
I understand that my wife comes to me sometimes. She's like, sometimes I just need help doing the things that I just need a break.
Yeah, and my biggest thing was the initiative, because I didn't ask him to do any of those things.
So I made a point to say, you know what, I'm gonna give her Monday off. Now I'm gonna
give her Monday.
Tuesday through Saturday, I don't know. She might have to be on full duty. You know, I might give her Wednesday off. You know, cause she worked retail, so her schedule, she don't get 2 days off in a row. You know what I mean? So we will probably throw another day off somewhere. You know, we'll talk about
to make it like it's a retail schedule.
Yeah, we'll throw another day off somewhere. Could
you at least get 2 days off?
Right. So we'll throw, but
okay.
So we gotta separate them.
Goodbye. But but my thing was, like, I would always tell him is, especially now these past 4 years.
Hold on, I will say this real quick.
What?
Well, I don't know if she realized or appreciated what I did, because I planned out dinner for the whole week yesterday.
Oh, I did appreciate that, because I didn't have to think about it.
And I know
that's like one of the biggest banes of my existence. Is trying to figure out what to feed you guys.
And again, from the conversations that we were having, I know that is the bane of your existence.
Oh my gosh!
So
if somebody would have told me like 20 years ago that you are going to like have to figure out what to eat and feed a family, like 5-6 days a week, I would have been like, nah.
And I kept it on theme. So Stir fry on Mondays,
which was really good.
We're gonna have a taco bowls tonight, because it's taco, because we record on Tuesday, because you guys don't know, because it's Taco Tuesday, and then tomorrow I'm making some ribs.
Yeah,
throwing the smoker on. Thursday will most likely be a roast, and Friday I take Phoenix to pho.
Yeah, and know what's funny is every time, like, when you cook, like me, Phoenix, I know she loves when you cook, because it's gonna be very like meat heavy. When you cook, it's like very manly meals. Like we always have like very I call them manly meals when you cook. And I'll be like, oh, okay, this is good. And if it's something that I don't want, I'll go and eat and come home and just pretend like I'm not hungry.
She would. But if I don't eat her food, I'm the worst husband ever.
But anywho, all this came from having those conversations. The uncomfortable conversations, because, like, let's face it, nobody wants to be made feel like they're not doing something, right? Mm-hmm. Like, when you come to me and you say, like, I feel like you don't support me, and I feel like you're never on my side, or you always want to have something negative to say, it's hard to hear that, because for me, I do try to be intentional with my interactions with certain things with my husband. And so when you come to me and you're saying, like, in my head, you're telling me this is what you're lacking, right? Mm-hmm. And that can be hard to hear sometimes. But because my marriage really does matter to me, and you are one of the most important people in my life, I can put my ego on the back burner a little bit and hear you from where you're coming from, right?
Happy you can do that.
Whether or not, I know it's hard for you.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Y'all,
listen
here. When I said in the beginning, it doesn't come without any bumps or bruises. It's difficult to have a conversation with a man sometimes, and where he feels like he's being attacked, or you're telling him he's lacking somewhere. And
especially as much as I do for this family, what I be doing for this family? You see, but I go out there and break my back and deal with these people all the time for this family.
But nonetheless,
while they in here telling me how they taking naps.
Who's taking naps? You always say that, but who's taking naps?
Y'all be taking naps. You in Phoenix. Y'all be in here snoring.
Okay, that's what he thinks we do. But after his day yesterday. What time did you have to take a nap yesterday?
That's one day.
Okay, just saying.
You still got 6 days left in the week.
Just saying. But
I expect you to work 2 out of the 7.
But anywho, like having those conversations, like it can be tough to have your significant other tell you about something they feel like you're lacking or something they feel like they're not getting from the relationship. But put your ego to the side, try to hear what they're trying to say, and try to implement the change and be consistent. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
Like consistency is the thing because like I said before, we've had the conversations and then we have to go back and have the conversation again because
sometimes you have to readdress things because
have to.
time makes things a
You
little
have
less
to.
important.
Yes, or that you start getting relaxed again.
Yeah.
So that happens.
You also got to understand that you don't have as much time as you think.
This is true as well. But yeah, so I feel like that also involves that's communicating, right?
It all involves communicating.
Keeping secrets from your partner.
All the time.
What secrets?
If I tell you, it wouldn't be a secret.
Thought I would get you there. But okay, so I think they're referring to keeping secrets like probably keeping secrets that you think could be harmful or detrimental to the relationship.
Okay.
Okay. Are those the type of secrets that you would...
I keep all secrets that would bring me grief.
You keep all secrets that would bring you grief?
Yes.
I don't keep any secrets.
Lies.
So, I mean, it's nice to know that my husband just over here is like living a whole separate life, I guess.
I ain't got time. I barely got time to live the life I will live now. He
keeps so many secrets. You guys heard it. He just said it himself. He keeps so many secrets.
I didn't say I keep so many secrets. I said I keep secrets.
I don't keep any secrets. There's nothing.
I know things that only myself know.
There's nothing that that only I know that you don't.
I know some. If I tell you, I got a secret right now. If I tell you right now, you're gonna go upstairs and throw something away.
I'm gonna go upstairs and throw something away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you okay? Well, we're not talking about. I'm talking about like actual secrets, not thoughts that you have.
No.
Are you talking about like thoughts where you like think of something you were like, I really hate when she wears that, and I really wish she like.
No.
Is that what you mean?
I'm talking about secrets.
Okay.
Like I know something that you don't know, and you're not gonna know.
Okay. Well, I guess that's what makes it a secret.
It's a secret.
Okay, so let me ask you this then: Do you feel like it's necessary to keep certain secrets to protect your partner, your partner's feelings?
Yes.
Okay.
To protect feelings,
to protect the feelings.
To protect feelings, not to hide wrongdoing.
Okay. Okay. Then in that case, I have to agree. Yes. That's why I wanted to get that clear because I'm like I don't have any secrets. But if we're talking about,
I haven't done anything wrong.
If we're talking about, if we're talking about things that will help to protect your partner's like emotional well-being or mental well-being, then yes, I have. The only
secrets I have that were like where I've done you wrong. It's when I eat your stuff when you don't know I ate it,
or you just lie about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pass it off to the next one.
Mine is just like watching shows.
Oh, we know that. You're a habitual Netflix cheater. You're a Netflix whore. That's why I don't do it no more.
That's because you take way too long.
Because I have to be
No,
in the mood
I don't want to hear
show.
it. Because when I use that excuse for things, it doesn't work, so I don't want to hear it.
It ain't my fault these shows start off good and then crash.
Okay. So, not spending much or meaningful time together?
That's because of them damn kids.
No, look, okay.
No, that's because of them damn kids. The problem is you get them damn kids and you love them.
Why do they have to be damn kids?
Because they're in the way.
Okay.
You get them damn kids and you love them, but they consume all of your time and energy.
I think
you have to be purposeful about planning and having time with your spouse without them damn kids. The kids is what ruin marriages if you let them.
Bye. I was just going to say, I think it was Michelle Obama who had made that comment when she was like, kids ruin everything.
They do.
She was like, we love them. She was like, it doesn't mean we don't love them. She was like, but kids ruin everything. And I was like, I mean, to some extent, right? And I think it's just because.
To the whole extent.
No.
That's why I make sure to tell my child all the time, that's your mother, but that's my wife.
He does. He really
That's
does.
my wife.
And then she always goes back and she's like, yeah, but she's my mom. Like,
And that's my wife.
She's like,
and I got her. As much as I love you, child, I have your mom's side because she's my wife.
She'd be looking at him like, okay, you can miss me with the BS because that's my mom. So.
Until she wants something,
and then she'll ignore him and she'll be like, Mom. And then she lays it on thick with me. But anywho, yes, what I've noticed with us. And we both notice when we start getting when we really start getting on each other's nerves, when we start like bickering a little bit more, when the communication breaks down, when we're having these different dialogues in our heads, and it's just kind of like one of those things like, like, okay, what do you want? Those type, when we start getting that way with each other.
I feel that way every day.
No, stop it. 9 times out of 10, it's because we have not spent any quality time together.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
about. It's because we haven't spent what we call bubble time. Like we haven't had one-on-one time where it's just for us to reconnect.
One-on-one.
Like how you were saying this morning. We get to a point where we stop having those moments where we remember why we still wanted to be together and why we still actually like each other, why we still love each other, you know? Like when we get in our bubble time, we both will have a moment and look at each other and be like,
I like this motherfucker.
I still like you. Like, you're still really cool and you're my bestie and I forgot for a second, but now that we're back on the same page.
And then 2 weeks later,
and then
man, you irritating us.
A few weeks later, it's just like,
if you don't go somewhere,
if you don't get, like, why are you calling me? Like, you've called me 3 times today from work. Why are you calling?
I'm gonna stop calling you all together because you never answer the phone.
That's so disrespectful. Not true. I always answer the phone.
It's so disrespectful.
It's not. It's not.
What's
disrespectful? What's disrespectful is that you don't have 2 words to say to me during breakfast, and then as soon as you leave the house, you want to blow my phone up when I'm trying to sit at the desk.
Because I remembered.
No, don't get a memory when you leave home.
Here's the thing about my wife, right? If I call her and she don't answer, I'm just supposed to accept the fact that her phone was dead. Or she was busy. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm usually working. Right?
Okay. If she calls me and I don't answer,
you better answer that phone.
I better be dead or in a hospital or on my way to a hospital.
Bye. Goodbye.
Because she know, and here's the thing, neither one of us really charges our phone. We don't really charge our phone.
And I have an iPhone 12, so mine don't hold a charge to save its life anymore.
And I mean, my phone battery's pretty good. I really only charge my phone when I'm at work. And that's just because I be playing music through my phone and it be going through the studio.
Well, I try to keep mine connected on the laptop, like when I'm working.
But it's like, she has such a double standard when it comes to this phone.
I don't. Because for one, I do answer the phone when you call. Let's start there. The only time I may miss his call is like I'll leave my phone on my desk. And if I'm like doing laundry or something, I'm like up and down the stairs or I'm out in the garage. Or if I'm doing something around the house, my phone is not on my hip. Like I don't keep my phone on my hip when I'm doing stuff inside the house all the time.
You know how many times I've heard.
But your phone is always right there. And then not only that, you be driving trucks and I be seeing like what be happening on the road with those trucks and stuff sometimes. So I'm like, when you don't answer the phone, I'm like, why isn't he answering the phone?
You gotta understand. Y'all gotta understand. After the 3rd call, now she's leaving voice messages. And they're not nice voice messages.
No. First, I do leave a nice one because I want to make sure that you're okay. And I'd be like, okay, like you're going to need to call me back.
Pick up this damn phone.
I need to make sure that you're okay and that everything is fine. Like, and
then just in case I didn't get the voice messages, now the text messages start coming.
And it's just a friendly reminder that your wife has called you
in all caps,
and you have not returned my phone call. Anything could happen.
And then I call back and it'd be the dumbest question.
No.
But I love
Why
her.
are you trying to like reverse it? Because that's literally
I love her, though.
you. Like
no, I do not.
You will call me. And you will call me like when I finally see the phone and I see that I have like 2 missed calls from you. And then when I call you back and I'm like, what's going on, babe? What you doing, sexy?
That's it.
Nothing, babe. What's going on? Did you need anything?
I needed to hear your voice.
No, I didn't need anything.
I needed to hear your voice. I was missing you in a moment. But see how she...
Okay, but you see how the same rules don't apply.
It shouldn't. Because since I'm the man, you answer the phone when I call.
Okay.
You pick that phone up. I need to make sure that you and my daughter are okay.
Okay.
While I'm out there getting it, I gotta make sure y'all okay.
Okay, another symptom of the 7-year itch is taking one another for granted.
Oh, you do that all the time too.
Yes. Yes. That is, I think that's a pretty big one too.
Yep.
I think through
Cause she gonna go
the
out there.
day to day life, it is so easy to get caught up in everything that's around you, all the obligations that you have, everything that you do, that you lose sight of, like, not only you can lose sight of yourself, and losing sight of yourself and losing sight of your partner because you're allowing the woes of the world to get to you and weigh you down, that you can start losing gratitude for your partner, and you can start losing gratitude just in general. You can lose gratitude for the life that you're living, right? Even if things are not ideal for you right now, there is gratitude in being able to wake up and try again today. There is gratitude in being able to say that you still have a partner who is willing to work at your marriage with you, right? Like, I know for me, I'm extremely grateful. I'm extremely grateful for you. I tell him all the time, like, I love you. You are the love of my life. Like, I love you.
Do you? That's nice.
I can't with you.
That's nice.
You are. You truly are. And I am grateful I am grateful for even our bad times, because I genuinely believe that without our struggles, our tough times, the things you went through personally, we wouldn't be where we are today. You wouldn't be the man that you are today. And there was a point in our relationship where I feel like I held some resentment towards you.
No, you didn't have to feel. You did.
I did. I held some resentment and some contempt towards you because, and I've said this before, where I just felt as though, like, you were trying to sell me something that wasn't real. Does that make sense? And then it made me feel some type of way about myself, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm the one who chose to stay. You know what I mean? But looking back on it, and when I kind of take inventory of my own life and my own choices, and when I take inventory of our relationship and our marriage, I now know and understand, and genuinely with the whole heart appreciate all of those changes that we went through together and individually, and the things that you went through, because I know that without those things, I don't get this version of you. Do you know what I mean? So that makes me super grateful, and I'm extremely grateful to be, like, know you. Just to even know you.
And I always say, I've never said this to you personally, but I always say to myself, is like, my dealings with just loss is something that you have not experienced.
Right.
Right. And I always say to myself, like, once you experience the loss on my level, then you'll understand me. And then we'll probably be closer.
Yeah.
Because you'll get it. Because it's hard to understand something you have not been through.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I always say to myself, once you experience, I mean, granted, I don't want you to experience that anytime soon, because it's not easy.
Right.
But once you do experience it, you'll understand.
Yeah.
You'll understand why I was the way I was during that time period in our life.
Right. But I like, even thinking back then, or like now, it's, even then, like, it was tough. It was a struggle. But even when I did, like, entertain the thought of, like, maybe this isn't gonna work, like when you were slowly coming out of it, um part of me was still like, but I really couldn't see myself not being with you. Like, there's not a version of myself that I see where you're not there.
Not even in 7 years.
There is, it's just, it literally, like, I've known that for so long. I've known that for so long, but, like, especially now, there's not a version of me where you're not there.
And
Like it's hard for me to even think past that. It's hard for me to be like,
don't give me too much rope.
goodbye. But I'm serious. It's like you have been one of the most constants in my life for the past 2 decades, right?
You've been my only
Part
constant.
right. So part of my identity is it includes you. Like my identity includes you. Like as much as
Yeah.
I don't know, therapists don't come at me, but part of my identity includes you. So it's like,
It's well, I mean, it's understandable because we've been grouped together as an item for so long.
and especially through major growing periods of
Yeah.
our life.
So
You know what I mean? So it's like when I say that I would not rather do life with anybody else, like I mean that. Like this man, this
I mean,
is
would you
my man.
if you think about it, if you think about it, we this is probably our second time getting over the 7 year.
Right.
You know,
Right. But I mean the fact that
do you ever think about the fact that when things really got good for us, she popped up?
bye Demel. What you not finna make it seem like it's my baby just like let's not forget, hold on, just for the record, like I really for the record, okay? I love my child
Who don't love her?
with every fiber of
Who
my
don't
being.
who don't love her?
My husband wanted children.
Oh, you don't want her, huh?
No, I'm not saying that. Nope.
You didn't want her.
I did want her.
I'm gonna play this back
I,
for her.
I did want her.
Mommy didn't
But
want me. Oh no, I'm such a bad
Oh,
daughter.
stop. I did want her, okay? But there was also a part of me that kind of felt like, oh, maybe we would be okay if we didn't have kids. Maybe. But I did know that I did want to have kids, but I just knew I wanted kids, you know, later. So that's why I was like, I
Oh,
was very adamant that we wouldn't start the
Ain't that-
children thing till our 30s. But
ain't that cute?
but it's really
That
funny
was a
that
bad
you try
decision.
you try to make it seem like she just came in and just, I mean, she did come in and rock the boat, but you were the one who was like super adamant, especially after we got married. He was like, okay, so all bets are off and you should be good now, right? Because we's married now and Papa wants a cub.
I wanted 5.
You absolutely did not. You absolutely did not. If you wanted 5 kids, there's no way I would have waited to my 30s to start having children.
Okay.
You've never discussed wanting 5 kids.
I did. I think I tried to get you pregnant at 26.
Demel, that's not true.
And you was like, nah, I'm not ready. We gotta wait. You said we gotta wait till we're married. We're about 26. You still had life to live.
You guys, there's one thing that I also have begun to notice, and I'm just like accepting, is the older our marriage gets, the older we get, we are getting further and further away from the same recollection of events.
We have the truth
we-
over here.
He always has a completely different story of how a situation
That's because we
gone.
see it from different heights.
I don't know, but when we talk about a situation that's happened,
that was a short joke.
well, I know, babe. When we talk about a situation that's happened, like if he comes to me and he'll be like, I don't like the way you spoke to me at dinner in front of company or something. When he starts to describe whatever the transgression is that I've committed to him, I'm like, okay, well, that absolutely didn't happen that way. Let me just tell you who said this first, and then who said this, and then I had said this.
That's no different.
And then
that's no different from how the whole asshole at dance. The
you
other
were
day.
an asshole at dance, though. See,
To each his own.
to each his own. But
You see-
I love
do y'all
him.
see the growth there?
But I love him, and
See the
I'm gonna
growth?
stick beside him.
I'm a good man, Savannah.
I love him, and I'm gonna stick beside him.
I'm a good man, Savannah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even go into my other pillars, but I think that was pretty good.
I'm a good man, Savannah.
You are a good man.
Maybe we can do part 2.
Maybe we'll see. I don't know yet. But yeah, maybe we'll see. But yeah, all in all, it's like it'll be like a broken record. Keep having the hard conversations. Loss of physical and
Conversations
emotional
are her
intimacy
judge.
is something I think is going to be a constant up and down. That's what you can depend on the constant being things changing, right? Okay.
Yes.
You can constantly depend
Yes.
on things always changing
Yeah, you're right.
because you gotta have duality. I thought you would like that.
I loved it.
that was a Vampire in Brooklyn reference
That's one of my favorite
for
movies.
for those of you who didn't know, and
That's what.
that's one of his favorite movies.
Now
You gotta
see,
have duality.
I said I wasn't gonna do it. I've done it the last like 4 or 5 episodes. I've done that.
What?
I've made a Vampire in Brooklyn reference. Now I'll do on strong, and here you go,
What?
trying to get me a piece of your ass.
A what?
Woo!
Oh my gosh. All right, now we're gonna hop right into one of my favorite segments, and that is reactions, also known as our 2 cents. So,
Wow,
what?
that was so corny.
Okay, I got one for you, babe. My wife had an emotional affair with her coworker for 1 month. Is this grounds for divorce?
No,
So my wife confessed to me yesterday that she's been having an emotional affair with her coworker for a month, but she put a stop to it because she was overridden with guilt. She said it's never gotten physical or that she had physical feelings toward him and acted out irrationally by exchanging numbers last month. They've had a few lunch dates and have been texting frequently, but my wife put a stop to it yesterday. Oh, your ears perked up on that one.
dates.
Now, I was extremely heartbroken. I would normally be skeptical that her affair did not spill over to a physical affair, but my wife swore on her dead friend that it's never spilled over to a physical
That don't mean
affair.
nothing.
My wife rarely, if ever, swears on her dead friend, and I really don't believe her character is so crass that she would lie when swearing on a dead person. So I believed in her that it was just an emotional affair. She's taking every step required to show me that she is remorseful. She has pretty much given me complete access to everything. Is this grounds for divorce? My wife and I have been married for over 10 years and we have 2 boys. I don't love my wife anymore, but maybe years down the road I can if my wife puts in constant effort to show that she still loves me.
Damn.
Now, see, that end part kind of took me out because I feel like he started off with like, okay,
Okay,
she
hold
had an
on.
emotional affair,
Hold
but
on.
then he
Hold
kind of
on.
like ended it with, I don't
Let
even
me
love her no more.
let me ask you this. Let me. You want me to answer honestly, or you want me to get in my petty bag? Because I'm ready.
Both. Give me honest.
I'm ready for both.
Give me honest.
Honestly, I feel like if you believe her that it was just dates, nothing physical,
That's wild that you would go on a date when
right?
you're married.
Because I was on board with her like not doing anything wrong until the dates came around. Because now,
But they were lunch dates. So they both have to go to lunch anyway, so they just went to lunch together. So is that still technically a date?
Yes, because y'all could have ate lunch in the courtyard at the job.
Right, but they ate lunch together, so that's still a date.
No,
Okay.
She's here. He just happened to walk over and eat lunch at the same table.
Okay.
When they go somewhere and sit down to eat lunch together, they plan that.
Okay.
Oh,
Fair
that's
enough.
planned.
Fair enough.
So once she just said that, I was like, I don't know if it'd be a little harder for me to forgive her because my wife, she loved to go on lunch dates, but they're always with other coworkers and they always.
That's why I was trying to get clarification because I'll
Um,
go out for lunch in a heartbeat.
right, but it wasn't to that degree. She wasn't no men involved that I know of.
Unless it was a group.
Right. See, yeah, group setting is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do the same thing. I'm not gonna go sit down and eat with a woman if it's just me and another woman. Now,
Or 2 women.
right? If there's a group of us,
If there's 2 women, he would go.
yeah, there's 2. It's fine. It's just not.
No, it's not.
It is. It's just long as it's not a 1-on-1 thing. So to that point, I was like, yeah. But then when you say you don't love her anymore, I'm like,
Right, like that,
that kind of that does kind of throw me. But at the same time, I can understand that love is an emotion. Emotions just change, and you might not love her because you felt like you've been done wrong and you feel hurt. You actually might just be hurt saying that you don't love her. in that case, you might actually do, because I'm pretty sure this woman gave you two children. So I'm pretty sure that I would tell you, reasonable me would tell you, I don't think anything has been done dramatically enough to break up the home. So I would tell you to stay with her, stick it out, and continue to be with her.
Now, petty response.
I would go get a DNA test from them boys first.
Oh my gosh.
That's first one, right? And since we around here having lunch dates, go have you a couple of lunch dates and let her know it's just lunch. We're talking about.
But see, that's kind of unfair because she was feeling guilty, so she came to him and she divulged to him everything that she had been
Get your look back.
That she had been texting, they've been talking, they've been going on lunch dates.
Let me say this. Hold on, let me say this. Also, I forgot to say this in my reasonable response. Also, you need to look at yourself to see why your wife was driven to do that. Because obviously she wouldn't have done that if she wasn't lacking in some area. So you're allowing your wife to lack in some area. And whether you feel like it's not fair, life is not fair, and that you are still somewhat entitled to her feelings as part of being her protector and provider. So I can understand maybe the dynamic is you guys have, like you said, you had two boys. Maybe the dynamic is, you guys are both not spending a lot. You guys are both working, not spending a lot of time together, neglecting the little things, and that's probably why she felt that way. But it is also your job as her husband to provide for her both physically and emotionally. So you were probably lacking. That's another hard thing to accept. To hear that you were lacking in providing your wife with everything she needs. But that does not justify her actions. Still, that's the reasonable response. Sorry. Go ahead.
And I think with emotional affairs, like when there's been,
how many emotional affairs have you had?
I haven't had any emotional affairs.
Cap.
How are you gonna tell me? Okay, then how many have I had, babe?
Go ahead.
Okay, with women, goodbye. If you're just listening and you're not watching us like on YouTube, he just held up 5. So just saying.
You had one a couple months ago with Jazz.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to let that go.
Never.
You're really gonna have to let that go.
Give your answer.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say that when it comes to emotional affairs, I know that can be really difficult for men.
You know firsthand.
That can be really difficult for men.
Because that's the door. If he got you emotionally,
yeah, because emotional mind, like once somebody gets in our head, once someone starts making us feel a certain way, once you start showing us like the possibilities through conversation and intellect and stuff like that is
juice
just
be all down their leg.
That is just, when I tell you, like, to have a conversation, like a conversation of value, a conversation of intellect, a conversation of laughter, a conversation of like highs and lows. That is the chef's kiss.
Stop
is
talking about your kids to your wife. Talk about something else.
That is like one of the biggest things, because that also takes time. Because that means we are also spending time together.
I see you getting excited just talking about it.
Because going back earlier in the conversation, this is exactly what we have discussed. When I came to you and I had told you, like, I don't feel like I'm being mentally stimulated in this relationship. I don't feel like we're having like in-depth conversations. I don't feel like I'm being turned on mentally. I'm
gonna start texting you.
We can't keep getting so caught up in the day-to-day, because these things happen. And when you think that like, oh, not talking to your wife is not important. Okay, but then she going off and having emotional affairs with a man who has time to talk to her.
You have to. Here's the thing. I feel like a lot of times we as people, we get so caught up in duty, right? I'm the husband. This is my duty. My duty is to, provide, take care of the family, yada yada.
And I've done that.
And that's what I'm doing. My wife's duties, is to make the home and nurture and raise and render the kids and all that stuff, right? But a lot of times you have to understand that that's just part of your responsibility, the duty part. Like you do still have to date your partner. You have to
Right.
maintain that relationship you had with her before all the other outside
Right.
influences.
And that goes both ways because we are still human beings. We are still individuals. Like at the end of the day, yes, I'm a mom and I'm this and I'm that, but I'm also just a woman. Like
Don't forget.
goodbye. Goodbye. Because I was only able to do 5 plates today in the gym. You're so mean. Anyway, but yeah, like at the end of the day, it's like I'm still a woman and I'm still your woman.
Hear me, war.
You know what I mean? Prior to us having kids and more responsibility and things like that, when we talk about
It was a lot
how the
easier.
relationship had started, it's because we were having fun.
Yeah.
It's because we didn't have a lot of responsibility. It's because we had enough free space in our minds to entertain each other and to engage with each other, and we wanted to spend time with each other. And the feelings that we were giving each other was it was that giddy little feeling, that little spark of excitement. It's like you can still have those things, but you have to work at those things.
Mm-hmm.
That's all, like
It's a
learning something
yeah.
new together.
I mean,
That that
we could have a whole episode about that too.
right.
The how the dynamic has changed.
The
How the
dynamic
dynamic will
shift.
change.
Yes,
Will
the
change
dynamics in your relationship will totally
constantly.
shift. And they
Constantly.
do it all the time. That's why we say having those hard conversations are never going to stop. Always feeling like you're not getting something from your relationship at any given moment is never going to stop. But what can't stop is you communicating.
Right.
That can't stop.
Right.
What can't stop is you putting forth your best efforts for your partner and showing up for your partner and showing up for yourself. That's what can't stop, right? And even when you're struggling to do that, like for me personally, like we just had this conversation last night when I was, being having a vulnerable moment, and we were having some engaging conversation with our child and the talks of responsibility and stuff, and as she's getting older, and you sensed something was off with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm having like a real bad moment of mom guilt right now because what I had said to you was, I feel like maybe she's not showing up because I'm not showing up. Like I'm not showing up as my best self sometimes. And I'm a firm believer in she picks up what she sees, right? And maybe she doesn't necessarily know what showing up for
That's
yourself
cap.
means.
That's cap.
But stop. But
Cause
you
she see daddy go to work 5 days a week and she ain't working. She ain't working.
for me it was just like that's how my brain like works, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I have the same moments when it's you, like when I see something is either off with you or I feel like we're just not on the same page, and it's like, have I not been showing up for you? Have I not been showing up for myself? Like what are the things, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's something that's always going to be constant. It's always something that you're going to have to work towards, and just make it, don't look at it from a negative perspective. It's like a mental workout, a physical workout. It's the same idea. That's what I mean. But back to this, the emotional affair thing, I think I would be more worried of an emotional affair than a physical affair.
No, I mean no.
No?
No.
You don't think so?
Depends on it depends on the level into which it got.
What does that mean? That was so like, what, you don't know
There's
what.
levels to the shit.
Okay, so the level that they got to where she
Right.
was,
So like she saw that
it was progressing.
It was progressing,
Right.
but it was still at a surface level, and she stopped it before it progressed even any further.
Right. That's
Right.
because that's what I was really taking away from it. I was like, she already knows that it was getting to a point where it was
Like
like,
if it got to the point where he was sending good morning texts,
how do you know he didn't send? They were texting.
that's when they two involved.
I can't. I can't.
I can't remember last time I sent one my good morning text.
You sent me good morning text.
You don't count. I sleep with you. Why would I send you a good morning text? I'm next to you.
I know, but you still send me good morning text in the mornings.
Okay.
When you leave.
Thanks for making me sound good because I don't remember doing this.
Because you call me 50 million times a day when you're at work, and you text me 50 million times a day when you're at work.
In 2024, I will stop calling them.
No, you're not.
I am.
You're not. Because then I'm gonna call you. So.
Okay. Well, and I won't answer.
This has been another episode of Life After I Do. If you're not doing so already, you can follow us on all social media platforms. You can follow us at Life After I Do podcast.
2 more months on TikTok.
On YouTube, on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as Follow and like our Facebook page, Life After I Do podcast, with Kai Nisha G on Instagram and Molito the Grouch.
Oh no, it's just Molito now. I
Oh,
changed it.
Molito.
I haven't been grouchy.
He hasn't been grouchy. That's really good.
So
If you would like to, you can also write into us at lifeafteridopodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions for us. Until then, you get a new episode every Wednesday, guys. So we will check in with you then.
peace, keys.
Peace.